Congratulations on First Their Plague, Doc Panda. And hello, Omar, over on YouTube. Give me just a couple more minutes and I should be good to go. I am actually mostly prepared today, so I just need to freshen up my coffee and then I think we're going to be able to get started. All right, everybody, welcome on in. Welcome on in. How's everybody doing today? Ooh, okay, there we go. Yay, love that. We love that. Oh, we don't love that as much. Okay, here we go. I'm in Plants vs. Zombies battle for Neighborville after tomorrow. Ooh, that sounds like fun. Um, it's been so long since I've seen anything Plants vs. Zombie related. And I always say zombie whenever I talk about that, which specifically whenever I talk about that game. I can't say Plants versus Zombies. It always comes out Plants versus Zombies. Because I just slide my S's together. Anyway, oh hi Merman, you did stay in here. It's so sad that PvZ2 is so microtransactionary. Yeah, I'm getting very done. Hello again. I'm getting very done with games just turning into like ways to continuously gut people for more money. Like just create a fully fleshed out game, release it to the masses, and call it good. Also, why does my broadcast keep updating? I'm so curious. I'm also curious why. Oh, okay, that would be why. Huh. Interesting. Whatever works. Um, yeah. Zombies equals sombrero zombies. Ooh, now that would be fun. Actually, I'm thinking of skeletons. I'm like, aren't those a thing? Like the sugar skull things? But no, that's just the hi buddy. Oh my goodness. That's just the skeletons. That they're no longer a zombie at that point. It has a big sail. Ooh. I dig it. I always am up for a good sail. Scombies? Skull zombies. There we go. Hey, I pieced it together. I did piece that together. Also, how is the music? Because I was just listening to it, and I feel like it's at a good level. But if it's competing with me, let me know. Especially like during the just chatting section. Which, by the way, the first part of the... Yeah, that didn't sound right either. The first like housekeeping thing I want to mention as we're doing the just chatting section is if you are over on YouTube, feel free to like the stream. We do have a vertical if you're watching on vertical. You will. Oh no, I still don't have it on this screen. Dang it. I do have horizontal available. If you're watching the horizontal and you want something more easy for your phone or just like torture once the game actually gets started, we do have a vertical version as well. If you're on Twitch, there isn't a way for you to tell me that you like this aside from tell me that you like what you see. Tell me you like what you see. Eyebrows, eyebrows, eyebrows. um, Scombies sounds like zombies on skis. Ooh, that's fair as well. I'm imagining a game where like you're in the Alps and like you have to get away from zombies, but the zombies are people that died while they were skiing. If you have a Nintendo Switch, it has a big sale and also on Steam. I do not have a Nintendo Switch. We have two in the house. Neither of them are are mine technically, and brain. And yeah, I cannot for the life of me get into like new Nintendo products. And I think it's part of that price gouging thing that we were talking about. Like I feel like Nintendo just very much is into and I mean this is kind of everyone right now, but trying to make it so that way you're so brand loyal to them. And it's like just come out with Pokemon stuff and Mario stuff. I promise you'll still make a ton of money. Like you'll be fine. Just focus on Pokemon and Nintendo and Mario. I don't like this. No. Why does it keep updating? Oh, that would be why. Okay. That would be why. Haha. There we go. That's gonna be why. I'm gonna put you on a hold. Because I just noticed the ones that it's telling me are updating. And it's the ones that I've set for Monday. So also, Monday will be the next Project Zomboid stream. We will be doing another 60 seconds Project Zomboid crossover with Dolores as our person, as our main G. But yes, okay, cool. Now that I have that taken care of, whew, that makes me feel so much better that I now understand what's going on. Hello, how we be? Hi, Plu. We be good. We be Solka. We be doing another playtest today. So that is always exciting to me, anyway. We have. I'm partially trying to stall right now. I don't know if it's obvious. We be so gay. Be true to you. Which I actually have stuff to say about that. Just real quick. But yes, I'm sort of trying to stall because in addition to having the creator of the game here with us, there's a chance that the artist might pop in. And I am waiting to maybe hear whether or not they're able to make it before we officially get started. So I've been vamping for about 7-ish minutes. Yes, on Wednesday I had class yesterday. So I'm trying to mostly stream on like Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. That way I kind of have my weekends free right now because things are weird. But this Thursday I couldn't because I went to an improv jam, which was incredibly interesting. But because it was Pride Month, it was mainly hosted by like the queer individuals in the troupe, which I absolutely loved. Two of them, one of them was my previous instructor, one of them is my present instructor. Was so great. I was pulled on stage to do a scene with my old instructor, which was magical. And yeah, my present instructor, while she was on stage, like very, very blatantly kind of called me out to be like, hey, ask how to get up here permanently. Oh. I've not heard back from him, but waving. Hi to Soul if he's here. Hi Soul, if you are here then great. We'll be starting in a minute and you can see some of your lovely artwork in play. Great. Also sorry for saying this word. Fuck Nintendo Switch 2. Oh, you do not need to apologize for that here. You do not need to apologize for saying Nintendo Switch 2 here. Believe me. We all know how terrible it is. No, I understand. Yeah, no, that has been like a big thing with me against Nintendo right now is I'm like, why? Why did you make something that already 2 other companies are coming out with a better one? And it's just money hungry, price gouging. We're not for it. He did watch the last VOD. How dare you say the NS word? Oh, sorry. I forgot. We do have some very sensitive individuals here, like BobCGames. Yes, believe me, you will see no words in his game that could possibly offend anybody at all. I promise. All right. Well, without further ado, since I do not know whether or not Soul will actually be able to make it in, we'll go ahead and actually get into the gameplay. If he is here, then bueno será. I hope that he enjoys, and if he wants to say anything, even just to praise himself, then by all means. If anybody sees the artwork and is like, oh, this looks so great, then also feel free to put it in chat and allow me to read it. That way, if he decides to listen to the VOD, he can also get the praise that way. Bro, it is so much money. Yeah, no. Well, especially like if you're in the United States right now, like it's so not even worth it. Like by the time our economy gets to a point where it will be worth the money to get a system like that, they'll have something else. So like their entire American market just got shut down. So thanks, administration. I'd say this looks so great, except right now it's a video showing your face. Well, fine then. Let's get into this, if you want to be that way about it. Alright, so we are back with... Oh, nope. I accidentally closed that out. There we go. Oop. There we go. Okay. I'm maybe getting new XP. See, and that I can understand, because it already has aspects that are better than the NS2. Which, yeah, This looks so good. Oh, I know. The titles, the title screen. All right. Also, I'm gonna go ahead and put the music in my ear. That way, I can like get in the zone of the YAGS verse. So last time, what did we do? We have a friend, Santi, whose husband cheated on him. We have been kind of helping him through the early stages of that grief. We went to a bar. We met this guy named Ryan. I kind of was feeling it a little bit. He had this weird thing about an android that showed up. I kind of tried to get like some kind of an apology out of him, or at least some sort of like reasonable explanation. He didn't give it, so bye Rye. We're kind of feeling it with like our straight friend Gabe and with his colleague Caleb. So what is the game? Oh, so this is Daddy Dating Sim. That is a working title, unless Bob decides to keep it. Over on Twitch, the creator of this is actually watching. This is a playtest. This is a blind playtest for this game. I don't know anything about it or how it can go. Nobody will ever play this version of it again, because the entire point of this is to allow Bob to kind of see how his own work is kind of going through. So, yes. It's not fleshed out even to the end, so whatever route we take has not fully been written yet. Also over on YouTube. Why do I see the word gay? Because it is gay. Hence the True to You. My thing about the queer show that I was pulled up into yesterday. Yes, so it is a gay daddy dating sim. Perfect. All right, so let's go ahead and load on into it also has no uncensoring yet. So it's very not flushed out. It doesn't? Okay. The option is in there. At least I thought it was. So I was assuming that there was already stuff that had been put in. Oh, is this not the right build? Hang on. Oh, nope. Okay, let's go to the save. Yes, we'll go ahead and save that. Return real quick. Oh, nope. Oh my goodness. Skip planner tutorial, we know how to do that now. Bob, how on earth do I get back to the main menu? There we go. 1.1, is that not right? Version shouldn't be 1.1. Oh! Whoopsie doopsie. All right. Let's go ahead and go back to just chatting then. Title screen should say 0.025. Oh my, okay. Okay. Yikers. Let me peek then at this. Downloads. Oh my goodness, I have too many separate entities that exist in the same computer. Storage. There, okay. Daddy Dating Sim. Why is this the only one that I have? Why is this the only one I have? Sorry, everybody. Sorry, give me just 1 second. I'm looking for... Thank you. Thank you. Perfect. We are now getting the correct game version up and running. Was this the one I played on last time? Huh. Okay. Well, whatever. Good. Well, vamping a little bit. Let me go ahead and look over back on chat real quick. Yep, the Dolores thing is getting updated a million times. This game is very gay. My favorite console I have now is this Steam Deck. I have not played with the Steam Deck. Granted, I've mostly stopped playing with like portable. Oh nope. With like portable consoles. I don't know. They just very much lost their luster with me. All right. Yep. Oh, I have Mother. Alright, what pathway did that just go to? DDS. Alright. There we go. Huzzah. Alright. Extract. Perfect, we're cooking with gas now. We're only 23 minutes into stream. We're gonna be able to do this, guys. Promise. Okay. Let's see if this picks up well. Unload, and it will pick up my old game. Perfect, perfect. Okay. Before I proceed, which we now... Oh, okay. Oh, and it still picks it up without me needing to change it. Cool. Good job, Bob. You know how to code. Alright, so this is the correct one, right? 00.25. We're good. We can proceed. This is what you're wanting me to play. Oh. Alright. Whoop. Why not? There we go. Okay. I changed my mind. I'm not getting Plants vs. Zombies Battle for Neighborville. I'm getting Portal 1 and 2. Ooh, I've heard very good things. One of my partners, I think, either has or has played one of the Portal games and found it very enjoyable. Okay, perfect. So we did this. Also, I was just looking at this because I was catching up on last week's VOD. That way I knew what I was getting into today. And yeah, I was like, oh, okay, Wednesday is technically my school day, not my work day. But then every Wednesday is also like my bar night. So, very fun. All right. Skip. Nope. Skip tutorial planning. Execute plan. Perfect. Work on Mondays, uneventful. You write some code and do some code reviews. You hang out at the bar with Jason and Joe. It's nice to spend time with them. Work on Tuesdays, uneventful. You write some code and do some code reviews. You have some quiet time at home. It's rejuvenating. Work on Wednesdays, uneventful. You write some code and do some code reviews. You hang out at the bar with Jason and Joe. It's nice to spend time with them. Work on Thursdays, uneventful. You write some code. You hang out with Santi. It's always great to spend time with him. Work on Fridays, uneventful. Before you know it, it's time for the cabin trip. You leave work early on Friday, grab your packed bags, and drive to Santi's to pick him up. Ooh. Friday. Santi's house. You knock on the door to Santi's apartment, and it opens a few seconds later. Hey, almost ready? Hey, almost ready. Just running through my list one last time. My list one last time. Okay, perfect. He hands you a backpack. That one's ready, though. You load the backpack into the trunk of your car, and he follows a couple minutes later with a cooler and a second backpack. Question for you, and feel free to decline, of course. I was thinking that it was a bit unfair to stick Gabe on the couch. My room usually has a queen bed, so do you want to share? I knew it! I called this last time. I knew it. So do you want to share and give your room to Caleb? I will gladly share my room with Caleb, just by the by. Caleb is this attractive gentleman right behind me right here. Oh. Dickatoo. Sure, that sounds like a great idea. I think I'd prefer my own bed. No, that sounds like a fine idea. I literally was suggesting it last time, so for this one, I will say yes, that's fine. He nods. I just figured that we've shared a hotel room before or whatever, and also, selfishly, I miss having someone next to me at night. That is not selfish at all. He stops and blushes. Sorry, not like that. Just a warm body, you know. Not that you're just a warm body, but just, it'd be nice. Give him a hug. I understand and agree. That makes sense. On second thought, no, I understand. I totally get where you're coming from, dude. He throws the cooler into the trunk. Well, let's get out of here. This trip feels long overdue. Ugh. My man. Although technically on my YAGS playthrough, my man. By the time you and Santi pull up to the cabin, Jason and Joe are already there, starting to unload their car. Gabe and Caleb seem to have just arrived, and Caleb holds up his hand in greeting as he steps out of the car. Santi waves back. Hey man, hope the drive was uneventful. It was. Thanks, bud. Or wait, no, this is him. It was. Thanks, bud. I've been doing audio work literally all day, so my voices are going to be all over the place because I've exhausted parts of my throat today. Caleb just nods as he squints up at the cabin with an expression you can't interpret. This is a nice... Caleb. That's Adam. Yes. This is a nice cabin. Gabe laughs. It definitely is. We just rent it from some company for the weekend. It doesn't belong to any of us. I wish it did. I'd be up here all the time. Gabe winks at Caleb. Maybe Caleb can buy it for us. Everyone shifts uncomfortably, but Caleb doesn't seem to acknowledge the comment. Why does everyone shift uncomfortably? I'm trying to think why that's an uncomfortable comment. What should I help carry in? Jason seems to seize on the new topic. Oh, right, because he's technically imposing on like a friend's weekend because we don't know him. We just barely change the voice with every line. That might end up being what happens today. No, I started, I think, working at like 10:30, and I did not stop until about 4:30 or 5-ish. So yeah, my voices are done and gone. I could use some help with the cooler in our trunk. On it. You glance at Santi, who rolls his eyes and grabs some bags from your trunk. You join him in unloading the vehicle. You bring the groceries inside, followed by your bags, and Santi seems to remember something. Oh, Gabe, Patrick and I were going to share my big bed this year, so you can take his room. You don't have to sleep on the couch. Gabe looks briefly taken aback, then grins. Oh, no. This doesn't mean anything. It's not insinuating anything, Gabe. Believe me, we're good. It doesn't mean anything. Trying to tell us something, Santi? Santi sticks his tongue out at Gabe. Yes, you always leave your sleeping area a mess, and I'd like it if we didn't have to clean up your bedding every time we wanted to use the couch. Caleb laughs quickly before looking guilty. Sorry. Gabe slaps his back and Jason chuckles. Don't be. In any case, I was thinking it was time for dinner. Past time, really. I thought you'd never ask. Yeah, I could eat now. I could as well. But a newbie question. We have a lot of groceries, but how do all of you usually handle cooking? Patrick usually cooks, and the rest of us do the dishes. Oh, what a terrible mistake. What a terrible mistake that would be. Well, not to step on your toes, Patrick, but I'm also happy to help out in the kitchen. Oh, please. Please. A, that will make everything way easier. If you're interested to see how many flag checks I've screwed up in the cabin part, because you can be here with or without Caleb. Oh! And if Caleb is here, you can sleep with Santi or not. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, you'd oversalt everything constantly. No, I would use a dash of salt, and then you'd spend hours complaining about how everything's too salty. Joe grins at him. Okay, so yeah, Caleb is like a really pivotal diverging point for a lot of things. That plus I'm assuming the whole bar thing, because without the bar scene we wouldn't have been able to meet Ryan, which probably also wouldn't have allowed us to meet the android thing, right? Trying to get out of dish duty. Caleb shrugs. I'm also happy to do the dishes. Cooking and cleaning? Are you single or looking? Jason hits him, but it's playful. Caleb blushes slightly. I just appreciate being invited to join all of you, especially so last minute. Then I propose our traditional opening night game of poker while Caleb and Patrick feed us. See, I'd be much better at the poker part than the cooking. Ethan, yes, Ethan. Jason snickers and Joe hits him, less playfully this time. Yes, I'm sure you'd love that, hon. Caleb joins you in the kitchen. Ooh! Hello! Okay. Well, I enjoy this. Okay. Caleb joins you in the kitchen and you decide on a quick meal of pasta and meatballs. Caleb puts the bag of frozen meatballs out of the freezer. I'm mildly disappointed that you're not making meatballs. Not that I'm judging, of course. I just find the process relaxing. Mushing the meat and breadcrumbs and egg and spices around, rolling them into balls, pan frying, and then baking them. Okay, calm down. Calm down. Frozen does seem like the right answer, though, so you don't get tied up too much in the kitchen during the trip. And it'll be faster tonight since everyone's hungry. Thank you. Thank you. I cannot speak today. Diamandi. Hello. The background is from Tranquility. It is? With apologies to... I'm not even going to try. I'm not even going to try. Well, either way. I enjoy it. Yes, the background. I've never made meatballs. That sounds fun. It sounds horrible to me. But, for politeness, sure, we'll say that sounds fun. Caleb looks a bit surprised. Well, we should remedy that sometime. Oh, Caleb is trying to hit us up. Okay. How big are you? I'm about 5'10". He grabs a pot from the cabinet. Should I make the sauce? Looks like I just dumped the jar Looks like I just dumped the jar stuff in the pot and stir until done. I can throw the meatballs in to simmer with it. You let Caleb handle the pasta and sauce while you chop vegetables for a simple salad. Do you cook a lot at home, Patrick? Are you trying to ask us if our husband cooks for us? Is that the underlying question that you're trying to get at here? Yeah, I enjoy it. Yeah, it helps save money over eating out all the time. Yeah, it's a bit depressing eating at a restaurant by yourself. Disagree. Do yourself a favor. Take yourself out for a nice meal. Take yourself out for dinner and a movie. Ah, it's so nice. It is so nice without anybody else there. Not that I don't love my partners, or my friends that I go with, or dates that I go on, but take yourself out on a date. So good. So good. Sorry, one of the things I've done in this game a little differently is that easy, normal, hard modes are not only change the stat requirements, but also make certain choices unavailable, so you can't lock yourself out of routes. Oh, okay. I don't remember what I'm in right now. In my country, one Nintendo Switch is 30. Oh, I don't know. I do not know what that version of money is. Oh my. Well, 30 doesn't sound like a lot, but I'm sure it's a substantial money unit. You know, Diamandi, there's I have other websites where you could find that stuff out, but YouTube is not the one for that. The making meatballs sounds fun is one of those that's an automatic unless you're on hard mode, because not making meatballs locks you out of Caleb's route. Okay, interesting. So this one activity is like a make or break thing for Caleb. I also just found out that Caleb is indeed an actual route. I'll just go ahead and say, yeah, I enjoy it. I also do meal prep, so I have meals ready when I have less time to cook. Same here. The enjoying part, I mean. I've never thought about making multiple servings for myself. The only time I cook larger servings is when I cook for dates. Fair enough. Or for a friend's vacation. I guess I just find cooking relaxing in general. Maybe because it's so different from the job. I get to make something really concrete with my hands, and I can enjoy the results afterwards. You're wondering if it'd be polite to ask him more about his personal life, or his experience at work, and when he starts talking again. I would probably go for personal life, because while he's bringing up work, like, this is a fun, relaxed environment. I don't really want to know what he does. That's something that I think I'm, like, struggling with right now with some of, like, the friends I'm making, is I'm like, I want to know what they do, but I'm like, I'm interested in your job. I want to know a little bit about what you do. However, I always hated talking about my job. Especially because, like, I had a job where I couldn't really talk about a lot of parts of it. So, and I know a lot of other people have jobs where they also can't talk about certain parts of it. So, yeah, I'm like, I want to get to know, like, the nitty-gritty about what's going on in your personal life. And then people are turned off because they're like, whoa, that's personal. Like, yes, we're getting to know each other. Be a person. Anyway, I think the sauce is ready, and the pasta should be done in less than a minute. Do we plate things up, or let everyone serve themselves? Oh, hello, everybody. You set the food out, Jason sets the table, and everyone helps themselves to pasta and salad. Oh, wait, did I miss things? No, okay, Caleb's route. Have you ever tried duck sauce? I know that it's... Oh, wait, am I thinking of the right thing? I think I'm... No, I know that my boyfriends and I just had to talk about, like, I think mango sauce, which is either a certain type of soy sauce or a certain kind of duck sauce. But I could also be very wrong with this because I am no good connoisseur of food, so I don't understand things very well. If I play Fortnite on the Nintendo Switch, I can cook an egg on it. It gets so hot. Yikers. Ugh. I have an announcement, and there's not really a great way to work it into conversation, so I will just say it. Oh no. Philip and I broke up a few days ago, and I'd appreciate if we didn't bring him up again. Duly noted. No Philip talk. You and Jason exchange a glance, and Gabe scoffs. You know what? Good riddance. I never liked that guy for you anyway. J2 and, what? I've never seen you censor your games like that. And what the F's been up with our group recently anyway? Albert, Philip, Kendra, even though she's been a while. Stop talking, Gabe. Gabe knows better than to argue with Jason, but shakes his head anyway. You glance over at Santi next to you, and he smiles back at you reassuringly. You know, I can't say I disagree with, like, his observation there of, like, yeah, we've had, like, we're all collectively going through a bad dating. Period. So, that's a thing. Patrick, Santi, tell us about your current project at work. The conversation moves on to more comfortable topics, and after some post-meal poker, where Santi trounces everyone, only you, Santi, and Gabe are left in the main room. You're sure you don't want me to crash out here, bud? Santi looks at you and you smile at him. He turns back to Gabe and shakes his head. Nah, it's really fine, man. Well, thanks. I'll probably call it a night then. See you tomorrow? You follow Santi in your shared room. He closes the door. You and seem... Bob. Error. And seems to think for a moment. Sorry, can we talk about something? Of course. You sit on the bed and he sits next to you. Sorry, I've just been... It's stupid. Behind you. Okay, that makes sense. I think that you're amused by the censoring, even though the entire last playthrough was also like that. Was it? I know that I've been doing, like, my own censoring. I've been doing good place swears. But... Whatever it is, it's not stupid. I'm here for you. Give him a hug. Whatever it is, it's not stupid. No, talk to me. Talk to me. What's going on, bud? Thanks. There've just been a lot of memories over the past week or so when I've been wondering if I'm doing the right thing. With Albert. Oh, no, buddy. No. You resist the urge to chime in and tell yourself to let Santi finish his thought. That's pretty fair. Well, come on, keep going. I mean, Albert's an ass, more than an ass, but life still feels really different without him, and not in a good way. I mean, transition is hard, but I think long-term you'll find that is fine. I think he's been feeling the same thing too, because the last time we talked, he seemed almost regretful. Buddy. And we're doing this split without lawyers, and he's being more... That's a mistake. And he's being more than fair in how we divide things up. That's great. That's a mistake. Not because, like, you should you should try to like take more or fight or do whatever, but most of the time, unless things are like completely amicable, like you're parting ways because you're just two different people, always have a mediator. Like, it is worth the money that it takes to have someone sit in a room with you and not allow anybody to manipulate the situation. Just throwing that out there. I know it's the wrong thing to do, but part of me feels like I should be giving him a second chance or trying to reconcile or something. Are you hearing yourself right now? No, definitely not. It'll be hard for a while, but you're better off now. I appreciate that you didn't put in an option where we, like, condone that. You know what? Gabe would agree with you. Yeah, I know, and I know that Bob knows this from experience, that I'm very good at, like, poking the holes in, like, this is what you're saying, and here's the non-logic behind it, so maybe we should find something else to say? Are you hearing yourself right now? He laughs. I know, you're right. I keep reminding myself of what he said that night, and it helps, but still. We were supposed to grow old together, you know? Well, things change. And being here especially is a reminder of how that's no longer going to happen. A reminder on top of all the other reminders. Well, then you will make new memories here. And that will be great for everybody. You're good at poking the holes. You know, in logic, mostly. He shakes his head. Sorry, I just needed to get that out there. He smiles at you. Don't worry, I won't go crawling back to him, man, I promise. He yawns and stretches. Anyway, we should probably go to bed too. Jace will be all about the early hike tomorrow morning. You sure you're doing okay? Give him a hug. Good night. You sure you're doing okay? He nods. Yeah, some days are tough, but overall, yeah. Thanks for always being here for me, man. Really. It's what friends are for. It's amazing how many times as an adult you have to, like, reassure other adults that they're not a burden on you for, like, being your friend. It's quite crazy. You fall asleep surprisingly easily that night, with Santi's body heat surprisingly comfortable on the other side of the bed. Oh, that's not surprising. Are you kidding me? Like, you guys are already close from being friends, but, like, oh. Both Dorian and Chris turn into furnaces at night, and I am always freezing. So, no, I love a good warmness on the other side of the bed. As promised, Jason gets the group up early the following morning for a hike. You manage to get reasonably far ahead of the group with him and Joe, and figure it's a good chance to tell them about Ethan. Hey, J2, have you heard anything about new androids? Joe seems to visibly perk at that. I have. There's been some conversations online about androids that are more human-like. I assume that's what you mean? Hi. You have to go? Okay. Go on. Sorry, everybody, 1 second. My pup needs to go outside, and he's acting like I'm going to be the one taking him. Let me just text his fathers. Vamp, 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 vamp. I met one and he teleported. Oh, that's an important thing that I actually did forget. I met one and he has something to do with Ryan. Hi, Merlin. Uncle Bob says hi. I'm curious about the teleportation thing. We already messed things up with Ryan, so I'm not even gonna bring that up. Oh yeah, I heard they can do that too. Yet another piece of technology that Mother has that we can't fathom. I'm interested in the android though. Tell me about it. Well, as much as you're comfortable talking about, at least. Let me tell you about my first date with Orion. Apparently he can drink and maybe eat. He felt human. I'm gonna say he felt human. Physically, I mean. He shook my hand and it felt like a human hand. Interesting. I've never touched an android before, but people have said the original ones felt like metal and plastic. I'm interested in what material could mimic flesh. I assume you meant the warmth and everything too? You nod. Oh, and he has a name. Ethan. His brother is also named Ethan. Come on, buddy. Go in. Go on, Bubs. Look, let's go. Thank you. Oh, sorry, everybody. Dogs. What are you gonna do? Huh. I know the first models didn't really have names, and certainly not human names like that. I wonder if this new series is intended to interact more directly with humans. A name, the appearance, the heads up. You look around thinking that Jason's warning you about an obstacle in your path when you hear Caleb's voice. Hey, mind some company in the fast group? Not at all. Gabe and Santi are talking about divorce, and I felt awkward being a part of that. I don't blame you one bit. Have you been out in the woods like this before, Caleb? Caleb nods, but seems to hesitate a bit before answering. I have. It's a nice change from the bustle of the city. Gabe was saying you come out every year? Joe nods. Yeah, it started out as Jason and Santi and Patrick thing. They've been friends forever, and after Santi got married and we adopted the boys, they wanted a bit of a guys' weekend to reconnect. Jason grabs Joe and pulls him against his side. And then Gabe kind of invited himself. Caleb laughs. That sounds like Gabe. Jason nods. So I brought Joe, and then Santi brought Albert, and Gabe brought Kendra, and it wasn't such a small thing anymore. So we found this cabin and have been coming here ever since. We were trying to decide what we do about Robbie once he got old enough, since we never brought our kids here. And I know Gabe wanted to bring Robbie, but then that didn't end up being a thing. Yeah, he and I have talked a bit about that. Gabe was saying that Robbie... What's this about Robbie? Gabe runs up behind you and slaps Caleb's back. Jason glances back down the trail. Should we wait for Santi? Gabe shakes his head. Nah, Santi headed back for the cabin. What's this about Robbie? I was just saying that you were saying that you were looking forward to bringing Robbie here, but not quite yet. Ah, yeah. Someday, when he's older. It'd be nice. I could take him hiking like this. He's really only ever known the city and cars and traffic and stuff. You say it like the city's nothing but cars and traffic. Gabe holds his hand out and indicates your surroundings. Compared to this, it definitely is. Caleb chuckles. Can't argue with that. I don't know if I prefer the boys here or not. It feels different now that they're both off in college and we don't see them as much. Well, not on this trip, hun. This is kind of the adults trip. If your boys aren't in college, they are adults. Right. I mean, when we do trips with just us. They haven't been interested in nature in a while, though, so it's been a few years. You adopted kids? Jason and Joe both nod. Oh. And now my kitty cat. There you go, bud. What are you gonna do? Walk him? Oh, no. I I have 2 partners to do that for me. No. How ridiculous. Yeah, Aiden and Keith. They're both in college now. I like to joke that as we approached the time when they'd move out, we started planning on replacing them with dogs. I mean, real though. Caleb laughs. I've never had kids, but I suppose I understand the sentiment. It must be really different with them out of the house. Jason shrugs. The dogs are more work than the kids. I'll point out that you were the one who wanted a border collie, honey, but then we also got a golden retriever. I didn't say it was a bad thing. Gabe stops walking and looks at a small signpost nailed to a tree. I think this is the turn if we want to make a loop. We probably should head back towards the cabin anyway. Have some breakfast and give Santi some company. The walk back is uneventful, and Santi's emerging from the kitchen when you arrive, carrying a plate of French toast and another plate of bacon. Welcome back. Figured I'd have a head start on breakfast since I assumed you'd all be hungry when you got back. That smells delicious, Santi. Thanks. Need any help? Thanks, man. The first batch is ready, so just sit and eat. The rest of you sit at the table and dig in. Santi soon brings out a second plate of French toast and joins you. This is actually really good, Santi. Santi laughs. Actually? You say that like I haven't picked up anything from hanging around Patrick over the years. Or, you know, like I didn't do the cooking for, Gabe, thankfully, grins and interrupts. Speaking of, why don't gay guys date their best friends anyway? You clearly get along. I mean, you're both single now. You'd be... Gabriel! Gabe shuts up and turns back to his French toast, but Santi just laughs again and gently pats your arm. I will point out that being compatible as friends doesn't necessarily mean you're compatible as partners. Facts. Gabe shrugs but suddenly looks uncomfortable. Jason drags Gabe off after breakfast to do the dishes, and you sit with Joe, Caleb, and Santi in the main room. Jason was thinking about a swim in the lake this afternoon. Anyone have any thoughts for the morning? I probably wouldn't join everyone in swimming, so I might just have a quiet afternoon here. I don't have any thoughts on the morning, though. I could be up for another hike. Maybe something a little easier than this morning? Joe looks at him surprised. Actually? Santi shrugs. I'm realizing that I have a big that I was a big homebody during my marriage, and I'm trying to change that. Be more outside the house. Well, I'm sure Jason would be more than up for that, and Gabe would join you. Personally, I wouldn't mind a quiet morning before we hit the lake. Hiking sounds good to me, unless you want some company, Joe. Joe waves his hand dismissively. Do what you want. I have a book I can curl up with here. You could be up for a hike, but you feel bad leaving Joe by himself in the cabin. A hike sounds nice. I might just hang here as well. Okay. Woo. If I hike, that puts me in better proximity to Caleb, who I'm kind of feeling things out with. And with Gabe, who I'm also kind of feeling things out with. But also, we already did a hike, and I do like more one-on-one conversations. Choices. Let's go ahead and do... I'm just gonna hang here. Then as soon as Jason Gabe... What about me? Santi sticks his tongue out in Gabe's direction as he and Jason walk back into the main room. Not everything's about you, man. Everyone except me and Patra are going for a hike, and I assume that includes you? Hell yeah. Santi stands from the couch. Then what are we waiting for? Jason chuckles. Sure, we could go now. Joe stands and heads in the direction of his and Jason's room. Have a great time, everyone. Everyone else heads out, and Joe reemerges a few minutes later with a book, taking a seat in the armchair. Wait a second, is he gonna read instead of hang out? What? I don't have to read if you wanted to chat or anything. Okay, there we go. I feel like it's been a while since we've had time to talk like this. Does this mean you want to talk about something? Up to you. I'm happy to read. It'll probably be a busy afternoon. Does this mean you want to talk about something? He exhales sharply, then laughs. That obvious, huh? Yeah, that's okay. Of course it's okay. I kind of want to talk about Philip. I talked to Jason, but I worry he'd say I told you so, even though I knew he never would. Even though I know he never would. Interesting. Okay, so Jason and Joe are a poly couple. I think they're technically hierarchical. But yes. Is there a way to slip into a polycule here? Okay. And Gabe would just ask a lot of questions I wouldn't want to get into. And I don't think Santi needs me to get on the subject right now. He pauses, seemingly waiting for you to respond. I'm honored, so it's just me? So it's just me? He shrugs. I guess, although I don't mean that in a negative way. I'm not really looking for advice, just need to vent, I guess. Totally get that vent away, please. I know everyone said you shouldn't date coworkers. If it ends badly, then it makes things awkward at work. But I was spending so much time at work and it felt like I was missing out on time with Jason and Dean. Don't you dare mention this to Jason because I feel like he'd misinterpret it and then go into protective mode. Well, more protective than he is already right now with the breakup. But I guess I was jealous of them in a way. Okay. Fair and fine. Yeah. Dean wasn't around that often. He and Jason would text more than me and him. And when he was visiting, I often ended up having to work. It's absolutely not either of their faults, but it sometimes felt like Dean was more Jason's boyfriend than mine. Okay, so their polycule structure involves Joe and Jason dating the same partner and then also potentially having other partners. Got it. Philip and I at least would get scheduled together. We could take breaks together, catch up in the hallway, sneak kisses between patients. He was mine in a way. Okay. I could have told you this relationship would end because there's problematic things here. Correct. Okay, good. I'm glad that I'm getting that. But they're just a couple right now. Am I correct in that? They're just a couple? Or is Dean still in the picture? Joe and Jason are married, and they're both dating Dean. Okay. Jason is also dating Raj, so a separate boyfriend. Joe was dating Philip, so a separate boyfriend. So they were a couple that became a throuple that then could all also date their own people. Perfect. On the same page with that right now. I can't imagine where you got this idea from. Wow. Dina's still in the picture. Okay, perfect. Philip and I at least would get scheduled together. Oh, okay, I already read all that. And I guess I was getting too emotionally attached. Well, I knew I would get emotionally attached since that's kind of my thing, but I still didn't expect it to hurt so forkin' much. And yeah, work's awkward now, and I can try to get shifts away from him as much as possible, but it's still gonna suck for a while. I will point out that I wrote Joe, Jason, Dean before I knew you. Do you want to tell me all of the games that you're working on presently? That way I can, like, know what's coming down the road for me. Would be useful. Preach, thanks. But more than that, I'm worried Jason's time is all spoken for now. Between the dogs and the housework and Dean and Raj. Oh my god, I understand. Whew. Believe me, I'm feeling for Joe right now, but oh my god, as Jason, whew, I can comply with that man so hard. Dog, 2 cats, housework because I'm a house husband, on top of my work, like doing voiceover stuff and having school and doing improv and like having friends and like I'm dating a couple guys as well, like, you know. I mean, it's not like he doesn't make time for me when I'm off. He prioritizes me, but it still feels imbalanced now somehow. Yep, that's the thing that we're also trying to work on. Sorry, that was all kind of stream of consciousness. It makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. You should tell Jace about all this. I mean, yes, that's also good advice. What happened between you and Philip? Did Philip cheat on you? Oh, let's not go into that one. Makes sense. You should tell Jace all of this. Okay, so realistically, my brain is not on Philip at all. It makes sense. If he wants to bring that up, he will bring that up. Even though it's not logical, it feels like Jace has 2 boyfriends now while you have none. In addition to all the awkwardness at work. He nods. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I really have no right to feel this way, but I still do. No. Back up, homie. You're totally justified to feel this way. You're fine. Like, these are all very human emotions, and most of it's coming from, like, you being bogged down by the fact that work is taking up too much of your life, that you're missing out on other aspects in your life. Because I haven't heard you mention a thing about not spending enough time with the dogs, not spending enough time at home. You literally are focusing all of your energy on, I'm at work so much, and I'm acknowledging that Jace has this very full life. And you're kind of directing that in a way that's like, it's not Jace's fault, but I'm feeling this, like, jealousy almost of his life, not for his attention, but of how he's living. So that's totally valid and fine. You're both quiet for a bit. Oh, I would not have been quiet at that comment. You're not sure if he's quite finished. Sorry, that was it. Thanks for listening. Sounds like Jason wanted you to break up. Sorry Philip ruined something great for both of you. I'm always happy to listen. Give him a hug. Give him a hug! He accepts the hug readily. Thanks, Patrick. I needed that. I could tell. You're dealing with a lot, buddy. It's fine. And you're totally valid. And you're just venting right now. So that's fine. But if you want to, like, problem solve this, if you want to get into these emotions, like, I'm here, sir. I'm here for that. Anyway, unless you had anything to talk about, maybe the distraction of my book would be a good idea after all. You grab your own book and settle into the couch. The time goes by quickly, and before you know it, everyone's coming back in the door, bickering. Oh no! Salmon isn't a lunch food. Hey, J2, the fish is most likely to spoil, right? We should eat it first? Everything's in the fridge. Another few hours or another day won't make a difference. Joe looks at you and shrugs. Assuming Patrick is cooking, I think the menu's up to him. Jason laughs. Passing responsibility, sweetheart? Ooh. Not a good thing to say after the conversation we just had. You don't understand how cutting that remark is. Joe smirks. Call it delegating. Hey, Patrick. You're gonna make the fish, right? Oh, I see you leading. Manipulation. Would you like some help in the kitchen, Patrick? You nod, somewhat thankful that the decision won't be entirely on your shoulders. Gabe yells after you as you and Caleb head to the kitchen. Also, the fish can't really go on the grill, and we should grill tonight. Opinionated men. Caleb opens the fridge and freezer and looks at the options. Well, it is a nice night for grilling, and the burgers and chicken would both work well for that. I'm assuming we don't have any wooden planks we could grill the salmon on. Maybe Gabe's right, and we should make it for lunch? I know that Santi wants burgers, but it seems like no one else would really have an issue with having salmon. And I guess logistically, like, Santi didn't really make a valid point aside from just like, it can go in the fridge. If we don't want to eat it right now, we don't have to. Which is true, but, you know, let's make the salmon. Especially because if it does turn, like if they, I don't know who bought or brought the salmon. If they know that it's like going to turn soon, then that runs the possibility of like souring everything in the fridge. At least as far as smell goes. That makes sense. Caleb helped prepare some veggies, and the two of you rejoin everyone in the main room while it bakes. Well, salmon it is. Santi makes a face while Gabe grins. Yes, thanks, bud. Everyone makes small talk while the fish cooks, and you grab it once it's finished. Everyone grabs a plate and sits around the table. Thanks for cooking, Caleb and Patrick. Patrick did most of the work. I'm just glad to help. The meal is pleasant and uneventful. After everyone's finished eating, Jason stands and stretches. Joe and I'll handle the dishes, but first, I think it's time for a dip in the lake. You're gonna just let... What? What? Instead of taking, like, the 10 minutes it would take to do the dishes right now, you're gonna let the food, like... Okay. You know what? You said that you'll do them. I'm gonna let you do dishes your way, man. Who wants to go to the lake? Gabe seems to perk up at this. Forka, yeah. Let me grab my swimsuit. Santi stands as Gabe runs to his room and almost immediately returns to the swimsuit. Sure, I'm in. I'll just settle down here with the book, unless anyone else wants to join me for something. Can't handle the cold water, Cal? Caleb shrugs. I'm just not a fan of swimming in lakes for whatever reason. A pool, sure. Then you'll have to show me the pool in your building sometime. I bet it's heated. Gabe, are you trying to, like, make a pass at your coworker? I'm in too. I think I'll stay with Caleb. You know what? I did the same thing with Joe just now, so I think I'll stay with Caleb. Spoil sport. Joe grabs Jason's hand and pulls him towards their room. I'll be right back then. Or we'll be right back then. Jason winks, and Santi seems to both laugh and blush. Well, I'd probably better get changed. Same. Santi disappears into his room, while Gabe disappears into the bathroom. I'm gonna grab a book. Excuse me. You nod as Caleb disappears into his room. You sit down in an armchair. Santi returns a few minutes later in his swimsuit as Caleb reappears holding a book. Wow, Santi looks good. New swimsuit? I mean, not bad. No, I feel like I'm going like a Santi as a friend route. New swimsuit? No, but I'm trying to remember now when I last wore it. He grabs some of the fabric and stares at it thinking. Then he shrugs. It's been a while anyway. Caleb lies back on the couch with his book. His shirt rides up a bit, exposing a tantalizing sliver of flesh and fur. You try your best not to stare. Hello, Gabe. Gabe emerges from the bathroom, looks at Caleb and grins. Still can't believe you're in a place like this and you want to read. Caleb shrugs. It's a serene environment. It's ideal for relaxation. Not wrong. Gabe nods before shifting uncomfortably. Oh, I have to pee. He disappears back into the bathroom. Santi stares at the closed door. Santi? That was weird. Jason and Joe emerge from their room. Oh, right. So about to be like, Joe, no swimsuit? This is not Joe's real model. Right. Forgot. Jason and Joe emerge from their room. Jason and Joe are pretty attractive. Actually, Jason's pretty attractive. Actually, just... Whoa! What? So we could do triad polycule. Or I guess quad at that point. Date just Jason. Date just Joe. I'm curious what I need a boyfriend is. I need a boyfriend. You're not sure why the thought suddenly springs to mind, and chalk it up to the reminder that Jason and Joe are so happy together. No, Gabe? He had to pee. Jason shakes his head. Gabe, we're leaving without you. He lays a hand on the doorknob, ready to make good on his threat, when Gabe practically sprints out of the bathroom. I'm here. I'm ready. That's the neither of them is hot option. I regret choices now. I regret choices now. He stops behind Jason and stares at his back for a second. New tattoo, Jace? Jason rolls his eyes and you follow Gabe's gaze to a small yellow flower on Jason's lower back. You're not sure how you'd missed it earlier. Oh. Yes. You didn't tell me. It wasn't a big deal. Let's go. He opens the door and starts walking out, but Gabe doesn't seem willing to give up that easily. What is it? Why a flower? Joe starts laughing as he follows them out the door, Santi close behind. It's an inside joke. Curious. I love inside jokes. Oh, bye Cal, bye Patrick. The door shuts behind Santi, ending your ability to follow the conversation. Oh, I would so love another route where I get to hear that conversation. Caleb looks up from his book as the door shuts. Do you have any plans for the afternoon? Do you have something in mind? Actually, I brought some Madness, the summoning decks. Oh, okay, we talked about this. Do you want this lore? I do, actually. Happy to teach it, but it's entirely up to you. I think I'd rather read or something. Sure, Santi and I played this. Well, if you had gone to the swim, you could hear that conversation. I will go for the swim next time, provided I end up here. Oh, well, I guess no matter what, I'll end up here. I might just not end up here with Caleb. So then I'll go to the lake no matter what. I will keep that in mind. He seems pleasantly surprised. Oh, I brought along some basic decks. Should I build some more advanced ones? Actually, it was our first time, so basic decks are fine. Great, let me grab those. He disappears into his room and quickly reappears with a couple small deck boxes, handing you one of them. I guess I don't need to go over the basics. Do you know most of the keywords? I can always explain them as we go if you need. The two of you spend the afternoon playing together, swapping decks after a while, and Caleb seems relaxed in a way you don't think you've seen before. Well, yes, we've only known this man for a little bit, so... He laughs as you land the killing blow on him in a game. Nice job! Thanks for testing these decks with me. I definitely see things I need to fix now, so maybe we can have a rematch later? Oh, the lore. It's from a dream. Dean misremembered the lyrics of "Fill me up, buttercup." I know that's not how that goes. And it becomes kind of a sexual thing for the three of them. Oh. Oh, okay. It's from a dream you had. Okay. Interesting. He glances at the clock. Not sure when everyone was heading back, but might make sense for us to start the grill soon, so it has time to heat up. The two of you make your way outside. As soon as you light the grill, everyone else walks up the trail from the river. Smells good. We just lit the grill. There's nothing on it yet. Gabe looks panicked for a second before grinning. I mean, the woods. I love the smell of the trees. Gabe. We should shower, since we've been swimming. Yeah, I'll see you afterward. Gabe quickly disappears into the cabin. Jason stares after him, confused. So, Joe and I'll do the dishes for lunch while you grill. Thanks for cooking. Everyone else follows Gabe into the cabin. Caleb disappears for a bit before reappearing with the burgers and chicken, along with some veggie cuts for grilling. He's quiet for a bit as the food cooks, staring off into space before he breaks the silence. Can I ask you something that might be awkward? You don't have to answer if you don't want to. You're not sure how you feel about a question with that kind of lead-in, but nod. Gabe is straight, right? You frown, not having expected that question. Sorry, I know he has an ex-wife and kid, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's straight. He shakes his head. No, never mind, don't answer that. I put you in an awkward position with that question, and that wasn't fair of me. I just thought maybe he was out to you and Jason and all. You can ask him for yourself. As far as I know, he's straight. Okay, but there's a reason you're asking. Okay, but is there a reason you're asking? Caleb thinks for a moment, then shakes his head. It's nothing. Sorry for putting you on the spot like that. He spears a chicken breast and stares at it. This looks like it's probably done. Should we eat? You two bring the food back inside, and everyone digs in. Dinner is an uneventful but pleasant affair. Goodness, excuse my voice box. Like I said, I've been doing literally this all day. Alright, I'm going for about an hour and a half. And I think after this weekend, it's not continued, right? Like, there's no more, or do we have another week? Afterward, Gabe and Santi do the dishes before Gabe more or less forces everyone into a game of poker, complete with shots every time you win a hand. That's my kind of poker game. Caleb brings out some whiskey. Yep. One regular bottle and a particularly expensive one. And you're unsurprised when Gabe starts drinking Caleb's good bottle. Joe and Jason stick with their usual beer, and Joe forcibly suggests Santi switches to beer after a run of good hands, leaves Santi shooting a fair number of whiskey shots. Been there. Where other people are suggesting that I take something less advanced. After another loss, Gabe throws his cards into the air, grinning as they fall down around him. Let's play something more interesting than poker. Oh. This is day 7 of 11. One more weekend after this. Okay, perfect. Cool. More interesting than poker. Jason shrugs and tosses his cards on the table, not caring where they land. Why not? I'm too drunk to really keep a good poker face anyway. Let's do truth or dare. Ooh. Santi laughs. Okay. I knew that the next thing was gonna be like, you know, oh, that's such a childish game, blah, blah, blah. Legit went to a club the other night where they were playing Spin the Bottle. So, you know, there are timeless games. What are you, 12? Besides, we already know everything about each other. Do we? Not our deepest, darkest secrets. He waggles his eyebrows for effect. And besides, Caleb is new. Oh, good point. Caleb is new. And that's also just a funny opportunity to like get your friends to admit to embarrassing things that you know about them in front of a stranger, which is always just fun. Jason looks over at Caleb sympathetically. Caleb, for his part, seems unplussed. Or nonplussed. Good word. Taking another sip of his whiskey. Don't let Gabe rope you into anything you're uncomfortable with. That's kind of his thing. I get Gabe. Come on, Cal, be a sport. We never even agreed that we're playing this. Gabe doesn't respond, instead grabbing an empty beer bottle, setting it on the floor in front of him, and spinning it. Yep. Come on in, bud. Good job. A small amount of beer must be left in the bottle because the motion flings it out onto the floor. Caleb seems to have enough presence of mind to wipe it up with a paper towel. That's spin the bottle, Gabe. Also, you're making a mess. Well, you can play a version of Truth or Dare where you spin the bottle, whoever the spinner is the person that asks Truth or Dare, and whoever the bottle lands on is the recipient. Also, Uncle Bob says hi. He just winked. Jason grumbles, but nevertheless grabs his bottle and sits on the floor. Joe sits next to him, starting to form a circle with him and Gabe. Santi giggles and downs the rest of his last glass of whiskey before plopping down on the floor next to Gabe. Fork it, let's do this. Caleb shrugs and takes a seat next to Joe. You notice Gabe seems especially pleased by this. Jason points to the bottle, which has stopped spinning and is pointing at you. Okay. Wait, let me read that one more time. Gabe seems especially pleased. Wait, okay. Caleb shrugs, takes a seat next to Joe. Okay, so you are sitting next to you. Notice Gabe seems especially pleased by this. Cool. Okay. Jason points at the bottle, which has stopped spinning and is pointed at me. Was Gabe the one that did it? Because that determines my nervousness. Your spinner landed on Patrick, and he isn't playing. Oh, he's definitely playing. You're not sure how you feel about the game, but you figure there isn't anything you could be asked or say to do that would be too embarrassing, and you don't want to ruin the mood. Facts. The intent is that Gabe seems pleased that Caleb is playing. I should fix that. It wasn't confusing in the way that you stated it. Like I said, I have been reading things aloud all day, and so some of it has become mindless, and I wanted to see if it had expressly stated who was spinning and what the reactions were. I needed to reread it a second time for myself. If that didn't make sense to you, then perfectly fine. But I understood that Gabe is happy. Or maybe it's just the alcohol talking. You shrug and sit down on the floor and Gabe grins. Patrick, if you had to date one of us, who would it be? I didn't say that I wanted to pick Truth. Santi giggles and clumsily reaches for a bottle of beer, knocking it, fortunately still sealed, over. One of us? We're all a mess, and Patrick could do better. Oh. Gabe shrugs as Jason grabs the beer, uncaps it, and hands it to Santi. I said what I said. What happened to the dare option? I dare you to tell which of us you would date, Patrick. That's not how this works. Unless you're playing Truth or Truth, pick Truth or Dare first, Patrick. Gabe makes a shushing motion with his hand. All I hear is Patrick not answering the question, and none of you isn't a valid answer. So, who will it be? Oh no, I'm all about that. Like, if I play these games, I'm playing these games. I hate when people, like, weasel their way out of answers. It's supposed to be, like, uncomfortable in a fun way. Santi starts to say something else, but Gabe shushes him too, and looks at you expectantly. You, Gabe. Jace, J2, Santi, Caleb, Jace, and J2. Okay, I'm interested in Gabe. Not gonna lie. I'm interested in J2. I wouldn't mind being part of the polycule. So like the only person on this I'm like no-go is I just want to be friends with Santi this run. I feel like that's too easy, too direct. Like it makes too much sense. I'm gonna say Caleb. It might be because he looks like Adam right now, and you know his model will change. But you're sure you're blushing, but Caleb just raises his glass in your direction. I'll take that as a compliment. Thank you, Patrick. Also, you can imagine this choice matters a lot. Oh, yeah, no, I got that. You glance over at Gabe and you swear anger flashes over his features before he laughs. What? I feel like you're going to be disappointed there. What was that? Straight crushes? Santi laughs. The worst. Santi seems to attempt to punch Caleb's arm, but seems to misjudge and falls on the floor in a fit of laughter instead. Well, maybe you should slow down on the alcohol, Santi. Your spin, Patrick. You spin the bottle and lands on Caleb, who shrugs and takes a sip of his whiskey. Truth. You consider what you want to ask. For some reason, a particular question sticks in your mind. You blame the alcohol. Would you date me? Who's your celebrity hall pass? How do you want to die? Come on. Come on. Like... if you weren't straight, I mean. Would I be open to the idea? I suppose. Screw you, Caleb. I should add, though, that I've had bad... I feel as though I have had this conversation, like, this last week. Hang on. Interesting. I should add, though, that I've had bad dating experiences in the past, so nowadays I like to get to know someone before asking them on a date. So the answer would be more like, not right now, but potentially? Okay. Santi giggles. That's the point of a date, man. True. Like... sorry, once again, my nose. Like, when you're dating someone, the point of dating them is to get to know them. Like, then you can, like, be in a relationship with that. Semantics, but, you know. I just figured the disclaimer and explanation were important. Okay, good to know. You glance over at Gabe, who seems to be looking at you with anger. Then you blink and it's gone, and Gabe's laughing with Santi. You're a hopeless romantic, Cal. I think you intended that as a criticism, but it feels accurate, so sure. There's a silence for a bit. I think it's your spin, Caleb. Right. Caleb gives the bottle a spin, and it stops on Gabe. You're not sure whether Gabe looks worried or amused by the result. Truth or dare, Gabe? Gabe takes a swig of his whiskey and seemingly thinking. Truth. Boring, everybody. Huh. This is typically where I install a rule that's like, alright, if we have 3 truths in a row, the next one has to be a dare. How do you... okay. How did you and Jason meet? I've been curious because it doesn't seem like you'd have crossed paths naturally, but it hasn't felt like there's been a good opportunity to ask. Jason grumbles and takes a swig of his beer. Gabe spilled an entire drink on me. Gabe and Santi both laugh. Yeah, that's about right. Jay and Joe and everyone were at this bar because Bobby's was closed for repairs. Gabe makes a shushing motion in Jason's direction. And I was there with my, now my ex-wife, I guess. And I was clumsy and stumbled with my drink and spilled it on him. Santi giggles. And then you basically forced your way into our group, and you and Jason have been besties ever since. Gabe looks almost concerned for a moment before he's grinning. I bring much needed charisma to the group, thank you. Excuse you? No? Anyway, I think that's the answer to your question. My turn. He grabs the bottle and spins it and seems almost giddy when he spins the bottle and lands on Joe. Hey, J2, truth or dare? Truth. See? Boring people. Gabe! Gabriel! Gabriel Gabeson! Why do you and Philip break up? You two were like... Nope. You obtained an achievement. That wasn't weird. Oh, hang on. You can't even... Ah, it disappeared. I was gonna get rid of my face for a second, but... Useless now. Jason's on his feet faster than you would have expected, looming over Gabe and glaring down at him. Bro, chill. That's the end of that game. But Santi takes a swig of beer, but seems to accidentally inhale it instead and goes into a coughing fit. As he does, he somehow manages to shatter the bottle on the floor and falls onto it. Okay. His coughing turns into a scream, and Joe's... Oh, no. And Joe's up in a flash, kneeling down to Santi and helping him back up. The next few minutes are a blur, but eventually you find yourself sitting in a strangely quiet living room with Gabe, Caleb, and Jason. Yikes. Feeling like you're not nearly sober enough for this. Gabe breaks the silence. Fork. Jason pats his back. Joe's got it under control. He said it was just a small cut and wasn't deep. Yeah, that's good. Seriously, though, Joe had one request, and you had to violate it. You owe him an apology, Gabriel. Yeah, I know. Why would you... Bro, chill. Like, you're going too far. He apologized. You pointed out what he's doing wrong. He's explaining that he will make a behavior modification. Like, what else? What else do you want? Calm down. That's what you can ask for. But anything outside of that, you're exacerbating the situation that's making you unhappy. Can we not do this right now, please? I know I forked up. Jason grumbles but seems to give it to him. Thank you. I just want to go to bed. Jason sighs. Sure, fine, we'll talk tomorrow. You head back to your and Santi's room as everyone else trickles back to theirs. Maybe thanks to the alcohol, you're out the instant your head hits the pillow. Sunday. Gabriel Darnell Johnson. Don't like that name. Don't like that name. There are dares in there, but you didn't pick the right person to trigger it. Okay. Interesting. Bob, you build your games with so much, like, replayability into them. You wake up with a pounding head and a painful Charlie horse, and you rub your aching calf as you curse your past self for not drinking nearly enough water last night. What forking time is it? You peer at your phone on the nightstand, only to find that it's out of power, another thing you'd forgotten to do last night. I have had these nights. My phone's dead. Probably time to wake up, though, given the light. Santi opens his eyes, blinking briefly before squeezing them shut and throwing his pillow over his face. Fork, I drank too forkin' much. Sleep in, I'll bring you some water and bread. You're not sure whether the bread will be useful at this point, but you figure he needs to eat at least. It won't hurt anything. You hobble into the main room. Gabe's already awake, sitting on the couch and staring off into space. He looks at you as you walk into the room before turning away again. He doesn't say anything, so you make your way to the kitchen and chug a couple glasses of water before grabbing some bread and water for Santi and delivering it to him. Afterward, you return to the kitchen and rummage through the fridge for the smallest possible thing to make. The simplest possible thing to make. Caleb joins you a few moments later. Good morning, Patrick. I can help make breakfast. I think I'm probably in better condition than everyone else. Including you, it seems. If you want to go rest. Actually, if you don't mind, I'm fine. I'm good to make breakfast. Caleb ends up doing most of the work, but you flip the pancakes while he makes the eggs and bacon, and you carry everything out to the main room together when it's done. Everyone else slowly filters in and sits around the table. Breakfast is a surprisingly quiet affair. Everyone seems a little bit hungover. Gabe unusually volunteers to do the dishes with Jason after breakfast. Okay, so they're gonna have the words that they need to have. Whatever. You sit in the main room contemplating whether you're okay wasting the morning or going back to bed. Oh, by going back to bed. Jason and I were considering renting a kayak today and going down the river a bit. Santi shakes his head. I think I'm just gonna stay here. I don't trust my head with the boat right now. You probably should stay away from fresh water too, given your wound. It's not deep, but it's still not a great idea to submerge it. 2 reasons not to go then. I could be up for kayaking, or I could hang out here. I assume Gabe wants to go kayaking. I could go kayaking, but only in a tandem. I think I'll just stay here. I'm choosing that partially because Caleb's here, and partially because, like, kayaking has never sounded fun to me. I think I've done it all of one time, and I do not. From what I remember, I do not enjoy it. You can keep me company, man. Maybe I'll stay here with the 2 of you then. Joe looks up as Jason and Gabe emerge from the kitchen. Gabe looks unusually sullen. Kayaking this morning, hun? I assume you're interested in joining us, Gabe. Huh? Oh. Yeah, that sounds great. Jason pats his shoulder gently. Everything okay, man? Just got into a rough conversation. It's my fault. Yes, if you continued to push someone... like, I get it. He made a huge faux pas. But, like, whatever. You stand and stumble a bit. You'd almost forgotten about your leg over breakfast. Everything okay? I woke up with a Charlie horse. My sympathies. It's worked out already? Put some ice on it if it swells and bothers you more. Probably a good thing you're not going kayaking then. Speaking of, want to go now? The more kayaking time, the better. I'll grab the sunscreen. We can slather it on when we're there. Have fun. Everyone heads out and you sit down on the couch. Feel free to say no if you're either not interested or too hungover, but would either of you be up for some Madness the Summoning? Patrick and I played a bit yesterday, and I had some deck ideas. Oh yeah, that seems interesting. When Patrick and I played, I'd be down. Caleb grabs his cards, and Santi picks up the nuances of the different colors pretty quickly. You spend the rest of the morning playing the game. Caleb seems excited to have people who help playtest the deck, who can help playtest his deck ideas. Yeah, it's always useful when you have friends that can help playtest things, right? Before you know it, the rest of the group is piling back into the door. Great timing, we just finished a game. He starts packing up the cards. Welcome back. No one capsized? Kayaks are too hard to capsize, bud. I'd take Robbie in one. They're pretty safe. Well, regardless, you all look dry, so it seems like it was successful. How's your head, Santi? Better, thanks. Shall we make lunch? Hell yeah! I could eat a horse. You follow Caleb into the kitchen, and he peers into the fridge. I think there were some meatballs left in the freezer. Are we leaving after dinner tonight? Yeah, maybe just sandwiches for lunch and then pasta for dinner? Caleb chuckles and closes the fridge. Makes our job easy, and feels fitting for a cabin anyway. I always love eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in the woods. Fair enough. I guess that's like an instilled thing when you're young. The 2 of you bring the bread, peanut butter, jelly, and carrot sticks out to the main room. Gabe makes a face. What, are we at summer camp? Sandwiches are a good idea anyway, even though I guess everyone's mostly recovered already. Jason grabs a carrot stick and holds it in Gabe's direction. Eat your veggies, son. Gabe sticks his tongue out at Jason, but makes himself a couple sandwiches. Lunch is uneventful. Joe stands and stretches afterwards. I feel like we should take advantage of our last afternoon here, with either another hike or some more swimming. Count me in for swimming. Well, count me in for either activity, but swimming gets my vote. I wouldn't mind a hike. I could swim again, but I'd prefer a hike. Okay, so that's 2 for hike, 1 for swimming. We haven't had one today yet, and we already went kayaking today. Kitten's butt wants back in. Come on in, bud. Kayaking is nothing like swimming, Jay. Jason shrugs. I'd prefer swimming over a hike. I'd prefer swimming over a hike. 2 for 2. I honestly don't have a preference. Okay. Gabe grins at you. Looks like Patrick is the tiebreaker. What'll it be, bud? And why is it swimming? You tentatively stretch your leg. It doesn't really feel painful anymore, so either activity seems reasonable. And while you maybe prefer a less strenuous afternoon, you agree with Joe's assertion that you should take advantage of being in the woods. Honestly, we've already done hikes, and I know at least Caleb and I haven't gone swimming yet, and it is a little bit more low intensity for everybody. I'd rather swim. I think Gabe just wanted another excuse to wear that swimsuit and show off his body. Gabe blushes slightly but flexes. I think you want me to show off this body. Santi giggles. Yes, please. I think I saw some camp chairs in the closet. I'll bring one and sit by the lake and read. Fair enough. The water feels nice, and you feel like you get a lot more active exercising in compared to how your leg would have tolerated a hike. A bit later, you're treading water with Joe by where Caleb's sitting, watching Gabe, Jason, and Santi try to dunk each other further out. Who are you betting on? Jason's got the know-how, but Gabe's got the strength, and Santi is remarkably nimble. You watch Jason successfully push Gabe under the water and swim away before Gabe can retaliate. Okay, so Gabe's out. Then I guess Jason or Santi to be the last one standing. I bet on Jason. I would have bet on Gabe. So I guess I've already lost. Santi. Gabe wouldn't stop until he gets his revenge. Jace. He managed to get Gabe, so Santi doesn't have a chance. Santi. Okay, you've got a point there. The two of you watch as Gabe fakes out a dunk attempt from Jason, climbs on his back, and manages to push his head underwater. You know, I should have considered Gabe's grudges. Good call. Jace should have gotten Santi first. Too bad they didn't know they were actually competing for our amusement. You watch Gabe successfully dunk Santi before they all seem to call a truce and swim back towards you. You should have been out in the deep end with us. Uh-huh. I'm fine without getting lake water in my lungs, thank you. If you have a headache, muscle aches, fever, or a cough in a few days, get checked for legionnaires? Oh, this is supposed to be swimsuits. I should fix that. Well, okay. Yes, he needs a swimsuit. He has them on, but he still has a shirt on. Same thing. Like, they have their swimsuits on, they just also are wearing shirts. Fixed! Santi looks worried, but Jason pats his back. Relax, Joe's just trying to justify why he didn't have fun with us. Is it about time to make dinner? Probably a good idea. We need to shower and pack as well. You shower quickly and meet Gabe in the kitchen, who's started a pot with pasta sauce and meatballs. You quickly grab the remaining veggies from the fridge and freezer. Very efficient meal planning. I'm glad we didn't have too much. We didn't have too much this year. Normally, we have to plan it for a larger number of people. Well, we still have leftover pasta and rice, but those are easy to take home. All the cold stuff was estimated well. Dinner is a pretty unremarkable affair until Santi seems to pause partway through his bowl of pasta. Hey, uh, would you be willing to share more about how you became Polly, Jason J2? When did you write this part? Joe looks at Jason, who shrugs. Sure, what do you want to know? Just more of what happened with Dean? I guess? Like, what made you decide it was the right thing for you? If I can ask something back first, Santi, are you asking because you're wondering if Polly is for you? Santi nods. Yes, maybe. I don't know, I just figure I shouldn't limit my options now that I'm a free man at the moment. Just so I can have a chance. I have words. Jason and Joe both frown. Yeah. Yeah. More recently, but it's also the backstory from Mother, the Revelation. Perfect. I also did find that. I did find that in my computer. I don't think that's the right way to go about it. It's good that you're keeping an open mind, but I don't think Polly is for everyone. Joe rolls his eyes. God, do you know how many times I've heard that from people after we started dating Dean? Humans weren't built for monogamy, and oh, that's a much healthier way to think about relationships. Our relationships are healthy not because we open them up, but because we're honest with each other about everything. Yes. Yes. I'm like, that's what makes a good relationship work, and it's with more people, it's easier to have someone that like deeply knows somebody that you can bounce things off with. So like if Joe wants to talk to Dean about something, he can kind of springboard it off of Jace first and kind of figure out like what's my stuff versus like what's a problem here. Am I just like upset right now? Like what's going on before it needs to become a thing with Dean. And then it can become like a thing that all of them need to talk about, or it can become just like a thing that's like, this was a me problem, and then he can talk to Dean and be like, this was a me problem thing that I understand was a me problem, but here's what happened. Or there's a real problem. And it's easier. It's easier to have that kind of communication. Among other things, but you know, I could literally just sit and talk about like polydynamics. The point is, monogamy is the right thing for many people. Polyamory is the right thing for many people. I'm not saying don't try if you think it might be right, but don't treat it as a valid option for you if it just isn't. Fair. Yes. Jason Potts Santi's back. You're a catch, Santi. I think you're all getting to the age anyway where guys are more wanting to settle down. Because Jason is ancient. And guys my age apparently have one foot in the grave. Please now. But I agree with you, Joe. Try it if you think it might be right, but don't try it because you feel like it'd make you more attractive. Oh, I like the way that is phrased. Don't try it because you think it will like open up your possibilities of looking better to people or being in a relationship that you inevitably will not enjoy being in. You shouldn't be dating yet anyway. Gabe's voice surprises you. You hadn't expected him to be interested in the conversation. By their expressions, Jason and Joe hadn't either. Gabe shrugged. I mean, after my divorce, I was lonely. It It would have been nice to have someone, but it didn't. But it didn't have. Oh, but it wouldn't have been fair to them. What do you mean? Oh, to the other person. To be a rebound. Got it. Okay. I'm following him. What you need right now is your friend, Santi. I leaned on all of you, and it was a hell of a lot healthier than pinning my recovery on some new relationship. Okay, fair. Which, you're all amazing, by the way. You know that, right? We love you too, Gabe. Gabe punches Jason's arm, but he's blushing. No, fork you, you big emotional bundle of... I don't know where I was going with this. Santi giggles and returns to his pasta. I love all of you too. After dinner, Joe does the dishes while the rest of you pack up the car and bid each other farewell. Feels a bit anticlimactic somehow, even though it's not different than any previous year. I guess because the trip as a whole was so different this year. A bit into your drive home, Santi's phone starts dinging repeatedly. Guess we have phone reception again. Santi nods, pulls out his phone, and frowns at the screen. Everything okay? Oh, it's him. He pokes the phone a bit, sighs, and slips it back into his pocket. Oh, never mind. Yeah, it's just my parents and brothers. Did something happen? He sighs again. No, I just hadn't told them about Albert. Yikes. I say yikes, and then I was literally talking to my sister-in-law like 2 weeks ago, and was like, oh, I realized I didn't tell you. I've been in a polyamorous relationship for like 7 months. That surprises you more than you expected. Santi had always been close to his family, and even though things had been different since his sister had died, he'd assumed his parents would have been among the first to know about the divorce. He must have noticed your expression because he chuckles. I know, I just couldn't figure out how to tell them, you know? Figured they'd find out eventually. Hell of a time for Albert to spill the beans, though. I guess he assumed I'd already told them. Maybe I was hoping they'd find out like this. Of course, Mom's asking if she can set me up with a woman now. I'm 45. I don't need Mom to set me up. You should tell her you're gay instead of just letting them assume. That doesn't sound very supportive. You hadn't told them? That doesn't sound very supportive. She's being supportive, just in her own way. He shakes his head as the phone dings again. I'll pretend I still don't have service. You know what? That's fair. Text messages have red indicators. Wait. Oh, yeah, text messages have red indicators. I'll tell them later that I was just tired from a long weekend, which is true. Let's talk about something less depressing. Oh, like that new Jake Gyllenhaal movie coming out next week. The drive is uneventful, and you drop Santi at his place before heading home. That was a really nice weekend. Alright, I have a social battery of 7. So how do I do my days? Alright, we don't have options of work, which makes sense. So Wednesday is when I go to the bar. Oh, wow! Monday nights, what do I do Mondays? I stream. So I'm going to count that as a hangout. Oh, yep. All right, yeah, I have to. All right, so that's a hangout. Home hang. Oh, it will not let me choose anything else other than home hang for that day. Okay. Thursday, we'll do home relaxation. Home hang. Can I do a Santi hang? Okay, cool. Yeah. This more mirrors my week. I do school on Monday, stream, I do content work on Tuesday, stream. I have school and then class, and then go to the bar with my friends on Wednesday. I do more content work on Thursday. I guess this has to be a home hang, which I guess is fair. Sometimes I don't stream on Thursday and I do it on Friday. Sometimes I stream on Thursday and I have Friday be like my day off. But yes, this mirrors like my work week pretty well. It's blocking you because your battery is too low. Okay, I kind of thought so. I should maybe change the planner so you can go as negative as you want in planning. You just can't execute. Fair enough. Yeah, that way you can kind of put things where you want them first and then figure out how to even it out. I'd be fine with that. I will say we did hit the 2-hour mark and I have been doing this literally all day. So I think I'm going to call it here and we will finish out unless Bob comes up with more days next week. Because we only went through, I think we only went through 1 week last week, maybe 2. We're going through 1 week this week. So I think we can go through 1 week next week and call it good. Next week's will be on Thursday though. I am very much trying to like honor my weekend right now. Especially because I'm trying to figure out what's going on next week. Yes, I've had certain options open up to me that I'm gonna save for myself for a little bit. But yes, you just have one more weekend for next stream. Perfect. All right. Well, with that, I'm gonna make sure that I'm saving this. Override the save. Yes. Okay. Yes. Are you sure you want to quit? Yes, I do. I'm quite positive of this. All right. Perfect. Let me take a look at how some things are holding up. Yeah, I think, again, I don't think we're going to raid out tonight. Because I do not have the capacity in me. Certain options open up. You know. But yes, so with that, we're going to... Whoop. Yeah, with that, we're going to go ahead and call... Oh, wow. Wow. I'm trying to get everything together. That way I can be as effective as possible with the sign-off. But, yes. End of stream housekeeping. If you made it this far in the video and you're on YouTube, go ahead and leave a like. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, or if you're not new and just haven't subscribed yet. If you're over on Twitch, follow if you haven't followed yet. There's no way for you to tell me that you're liking the video, except for to tell me in stream that you like the video. But with that, I'm going to try and catch a little bit of time with my boys before they go to bed. And I will see you guys on Monday. Those streams are already posted, so go ahead and head on over to YouTube and set reminders for those streams. It will be a Project Zomboid playthrough where we will be combining characters from 60 Seconds Reatomized and Project Zomboid mechanics, and it should be a fun time. So with that, I will see you all next week. Have a good weekend.